Welcome back, everyone, to Car Mechanic Simulator. So, obviously, these are our two restoration projects that we are currently working on right now. Looking pretty good. You can see them glistening in the sunlight. I think people are starting to take a little bit of notice. Definitely getting some nice customer jobs up here where they're asking us to do some pretty crazy things. And today, we had our first customer that owns one of these beauties, the Nissan GTR 35. Super awesome, amazing car. Super love the power, love the car, honestly. I mean, I'm still a R34 kind of guy. I like the older model just a little bit more, but these twin turbo monsters can be pretty intense. So, super excited. I think this is the first time I've even seen one at all in this game while I own this DLC. I couldn't believe how long it took. It's obviously not too big of a job. They just want us to refill all the fluids in the car, but that's okay because I just want to admire the car. Look at that. You can see it's got a turbo on this side, turbo on that side, twin turbo V6, two separate throttle bodies, Nissan custom, head cover. This is pretty awesome. I'm super excited to get to work on one of these. This is kind of like when we had the Corvette, right? All we could do was fluids or something. We didn't actually get into it or anything like that. Like, I would love to get into this car and tear the engine apart and all that, but that just unfortunately is not going to happen for us on this particular episode, but that's okay. It's nice to get to see one. Alright, and you are good to go. So, 120 bucks. I think we made more money off of this job than the very last job we did in our last episode. So that's actually really funny. What else do we? We got an SUV here, actually. Oh, and a Supra for bonus money. Oh, I'm torn. I want to work on this just because we haven't really worked on a four-wheel drive yet, and I've never worked on one. But this Supra is gonna 100% be more worth it. It's a bigger job for more money. Plus, it's a Supra, and who doesn't want to work on a Supra? So look at this. This is a pretty sweet paint job. I actually really like this. The car is in really good shape, actually. What's minimum condition? They want us to go no lower than 57. Looks like they actually know everything that's wrong with... Oh, no. Strange noise and general engine control. Okay, so the engine is giving them some grief, and they're not too sure about everything. So that's okay. You've brought it to the right shop. We love Supras over here, and we will treat her with the utmost respect. And we will get to... Oh, I can tell you right now. That part's gone. No debates. So we will treat her with the utmost respect. And let's run through our tools really quickly. That's not what I wanted to see. I was really hoping we wouldn't have to tear apart the whole top end of the engine, but we need the crankshaft and the piston rings. That is unfortunate. Alright, so we ran through a little bit of stuff. Did found out the crankshaft is part of it. We've got everything there. But yeah, alternator, coil, piston rings. We did pick up a couple of parts. I can tell you right now, a lot of it's going to be on the front here and stuff too. They did want us to replace the air filter, I believe is one of them. Yeah, so anyways, we'll start tearing apart this engine and see what we can do. We're going to remove the coolant first. And yeah, we'll get started here. Does look like we're gonna get lucky with some of these parts. I am noticing some of them are in the orange, so they will be fixable instead of a full-on replace. That's always nice to see. Guess we're taking the engine head off. Engine head cover, sorry. This is kind of a rough motor to work on. I do love it. Inline 6 turbocharged engine for sure. Awesome. Sign me up. But these little caps here, I do believe I had mentioned this in a previous video. This is just so tedious. I wish I had started doing videos and stuff a lot sooner. I actually had a playthrough where my first car that I started building up was actually one of these Supras, and I decided to engine swap in a turbocharged straight inline 6, so this engine. And I put a lot of time and a lot of work into that car. When you get the paint shop, you can actually customize specific parts, colors, like you can paint your engine head and stuff like that. So I had gone like the whole 9 yards. The car looked amazing and everything. So kind of disappointing to not have that anymore, but that is what you get for restarting once again. Looks like there's a lot of camshafts that are actually a problem, and I have a feeling that there are going to be a lot of the hidden parts that we were missing, so that's actually kind of nice. It's just too bad that we have to go the whole way right down into the engine. Have to crawl underneath it and pull the oil pan off. I really wish that there was like, I don't know what everyone calls them, but the rollers that you can lay down on and then roll around your shop. Like, I've seen games out there where there is an ability to lay on your back and look up, and that would just make things faster than having to lift the car and then drop it every time you need to go from underneath to over top. So that would be a nice thing for them to add to this game if they could. Just save a little bit of time. Alright, and that is the entire top end of the engine removed. We might actually need to take this starter off, so we're going to remove that as well. Alright, let's go underneath. See how it's looking. Definitely have some exhaust stuff that we need to work on. And our oil filter. And I did forget to grab the oil out of the car. Yeah, we do have to remove the gearbox. Glad I removed that starter, otherwise I'd have to be going back over top to get at the gearbox. Because you gotta remove the starter to remove the gearbox. And I don't need to highlight which pistons to pull out, because I need to pull out the camshaft or the crankshaft, and for that I have to pull out all of them. This is where that dolly is would be the most noticeable, because I have to be underneath here to pull all these parts off. Then I have to go above to pull the pistons out in order to get this guy out. So But I do think you might be able to pull this from the top after you pull the pistons out without having to go back underneath the car. So there is that possibility. Oh, and a crankshaft bearing cap. Nice. We are finding lots of parts. Alright, and that should be everything underneath. So, what? Actually, 1 second. Oil change timing. Looks like we have found everything. Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any running gear or anything, because then we'd have to go back under the car again. So, if we can avoid that, I wanted to try. Nope, have to go underneath the car. See? Up, down, up, down. Your counter would obviously be to use the engine hoist and the engine stand, but even that... Once the engine's off the car, it's harder to, like, map out parts, like if you star them or something like that, so you really have to be on top of what you're taking off, so. Alright, minimum part condition was 57%, so I might even pick up something if I notice it's under 57%, just because. So anyways, I'm going to create a shopping list, and we'll get this engine back together. Alright, back over at the workbench. We're going to try and replace any parts if we can. Alright, so we've replaced all the parts we can. We have our shopping list, so let's get to her. Alright, a little bit on the pricey side of the list there, which was to be expected. So we are going to make sure we grab the right parts when we get to everything. So make sure that cam gear, those caps are marked, and that set of piston rings. Perfect. Okay, so you're the one who needs new piston rings. Oh, wait, we gotta start with the camshaft. Oh my goodness, this is what I'm talking about. There was a crankshaft as well, wasn't there? Alright, there we are. Let's get back up to the top now. Alright. Place the ones we know for sure. And there we go, the longest part of putting the engine back together dealt with. Right, now for this beautiful turbocharged system. Alright, let's get back to the front end of this engine. I feel kind of bad that we only repaired some of the parts to the minimum requirement. There we go. There's the words I was looking for. I do feel kind of bad about that, but that is kind of what they wanted, so... Like, that one just barely squeaks by. In fact, I want to check on that one. Well, tensioner. Yeah, there it is. Power steering pump. They're okay with it. Feel kind of bad, but that's kind of the name of the game, I guess, in a small way. Not exactly causing a problem, but not exactly doing him favors either. It's kind of right on the borderline of ethic, like, this is what you asked for, this is what you get, right? But I've definitely done a lot of customers favors in the past, giving them better parts or repairing stuff that didn't need to be repaired, so I think as a moral side of things, I think we're doing all right. And if he does have problems with the part that we replaced, and they bring it in and it was something we were supposed to fix and everything, I will gladly fix it for free for them. That would feel like the right thing to do. There we go. We'll throw the bottom end of the engine back together, throw the oil pan on, fill her up with oil, refill the coolant, and don't forget to install the drive line. Let's not do that again. Yeah, this would actually be like a lot tougher to do as well. Pistons do not go in as easy as this game makes you believe, because the piston rings have to snug right up against the wall, the cylinder wall. So the piston ring has a slit in it and actually opens out like this, and it presses against the cylinder wall. So in order to fit it in there, you have, and piston rings, there's like 3 of them, and you can't have the opening in line, so they have to be offset. And then you have to try and slip the piston into the cylinder wall with these rings. So a lot of time you need like some sort of like band. Like you think, oh, I'll just push it in like with my fingers or something and it'll just fall into place. Doesn't quite work out that way, believe it or not. It's harder than it sounds, but it's not as complicated as it sounds either, if that makes any kind of sense. It's one of those things that, you know, your first time you're gonna probably hate it, but you do it a couple times and all of a sudden you're like, this like, what was the big deal kind of thing, right? Like a lot of things in your life. But yeah, pistons are another thing this game definitely makes look easy. If only working on your car was this easy. But it is nice. The game does give you a good idea on what to kind of expect. So, there is that for sure. It at least looks kind of like it. You might just get a little bit overwhelmed with a lot. There'd be a lot of extra wires and stuff floating around. So, that'd be something to... Like, you'd open an engine and be like, oh my god, what am I looking at? But if you tore off a lot of the electronics, you'd be like, oh, wait a minute. This is actually starting to look right. So, plus you wouldn't see quite as much as you do in the game either. You don't generally see as much of your wheels and everything. Alright, and that should be it. So, we are going to make about $6 grand off of this job, so that is rather nice. Puts us back up at 9. Let's go take a look here. Ooh, Skyline, it makes me want to work on it. We got a Hinata Moon here, and then this guy. That's another really big job. I don't know if I'm really feeling a really big job right about now. I think I'm gonna take a quick run to the junkyard and I'm gonna look for some body panels for the Moon Mark II and this Katagirl Katsunomoto. So I'll take a quick run to the junkyard, look for some body panels and some extra parts. Alright, welcome back everyone. I did end up hitting the junkyard twice. So we did get kind of some fruitful stuff. I picked up an ECU. I don't know what the Moon takes. I know we're looking for an A, but we did find a fender for both cars. We found lights for both cars. I found an actual decent windshield for our first car. Found our trunks, some ABS pumps. I found seats and a steering wheel. And yeah, we definitely found some stuff to make our cars happy. So we're going to go straight over into the repair station and we're going to repair the body panels we found and the parts. Alright, so here we go. We will go into our assemble mode and throw on some stuff. So we were able to find a hood and a right fender, and we have a windshield. I don't think we picked up a rear bumper though. No. I'm gonna quickly, yeah, moon, pumps, moons. Perfect. Alright, and the last thing we're gonna do is interior assemble. So put in some seats. And give it a steering wheel. Oh, we actually had a nice steering wheel. Look at that. Alright. And there we are. So, a little bit further along. I thought I had picked up a light. I did. Okay, there we go. So there we go. We are making some progress on this guy. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to pull the Moon into the garage and finally just fix up the frame, just so that way we have a better thing to work with. So, throw our welder over here. Let's see how much this is going to cost. This is going to cost us $900 to fix. There we are, looking pretty good. Move this back. We'll take these panels off. This is actually repairable stuff, which is nice to know. Oh, this rear bumper actually looked like it might be in decent shape. Interesting. Alright, let's go repair some more body parts. Alright, onward to assembly mode. I don't think we picked up the... You know what? Let's just I'm gonna sort this by name. So look for the Hinata Moon stuff. There we go. So we have 2 doors, a left and a right fender. We have mirrors. We have a tail light. Have a bumper. We have headlights, mirrors, and a trunk. Okay. So we'll put some headlights in. Oh, we only have one headlight apparently. Put this stuff on. Put the trunk on. Left tail light. And a rear bumper. Perfect. All right. And now we have this car back together. Let's just take a quick look at it. This is also going to take an ECU Type A. We did manage to find us a power steering reservoir, windshield washer. We do have a battery for it. No brake servo. Alright, so that is looking like a nice little start to this guy. Let's just take a quick look just out of curiosity. I hey, look at that, we're actually making money off of this now. So in theory, if we just sold both cars, we should make a profit because both cars are now showing a profit. But I don't know if that counts exactly with all the stuff you buy and put into them. Like the welding, like if you fix up the frame, I don't know if that actually helps. Let's see over here. So this one here is now 18. So we're making a $15,000 profit. I can't remember what we were before. I want to say we were in the 11 zone. Because 15, no, we must have been a little bit higher than that. 15 puts us up at 21, which I had mentioned before is the actual zone we want to be in. We want to make 21,000 off of this car when we sell it in order to make a actual profit. So I think we are actually starting to make some pretty good progress. That moon is already worth money, and we haven't even started putting it together yet. Like, it's literally just body right now. I think that car is going to go for a lot more money than this one, because this one did, even though it was kind of already, a lot of parts were already together and everything, it still went for a really cheap price. That does say that its value isn't up there. So I do feel bad that we've been kind of neglecting our Superbird over here, but promise, baby, we are doing this for you. We're basically trying to get this one at the very least out of our hair so we can focus on getting this car fully up and running again. So it would be nice to get one of these cars up and running. So, oh, this one has a fuel tank. It's a 3-star fuel tank. So, but anyway, so that will be all for today's episode. So thank you all so much for watching. Really appreciate all the support. I'm pretty happy with how well things have been going. I wasn't expecting to be picking up any subscribers or anything just yet, so I gotta admit, it's a pretty cool feeling. So thanks again. Thanks to everyone who watches. So hope to see you guys all in the next one, and peace out.